Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Thomas Rudolph and Garrett Dworshak and the rest of the crew, which I hope to enumerate along the way, on this, the final game of the 2023 West Coast League season. And a very familiar phrase I'm about to share, the Corvallis Knights are in the championship game, seeking their 7th consecutive West Coast League championship tonight against the Victoria HarbourCats. The Knights can only be thankful that they ended up with the best overall record in the West Coast League and thus home field advantage throughout the playoffs, because this outstanding Victoria HarbourCats club, whom the Knights will be playing for a third time in the championship game and/or series, went 27-2 at Royal Athletic Park during the course of the summer. That's a new West Coast League record for wins at home. So the Knights are glad to have home field advantage. They're hosting Victoria tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on a day that unfortunately has turned not only very hot, but very smoky. The AQI has risen to over 100. And so the AQI and the temperature today running almost along parallel tracks. The game moved from the original scheduled time of 6:35 to an 8 o'clock scheduled first pitch to be delivered by Merritt Jones. Merritt's folks, by the way, Dewey and Nicole, have made the trip in from Idaho Falls. They're here to watch Merritt try to help pitch the Knights to a championship. But we do have smoke, we do have haze, but the temperature is cooling down, and it should be pleasant enough, tolerable enough now, and pleasant by game's end. We're glad you've joined us. We hope you're on your way to the ballpark. It's the final game of the 2023 season for both clubs. The Knights seeking their 7th straight championship, Victoria seeking its first. The two teams squared off in 2017 and 2019 in championship series. The Knights prevailed both times. It's the 10th anniversary season for the outstanding organization of the Victoria HarbourCats, and the Knights are seeking their 10th overall championship and 7th straight. A guy who has contributed mightily to the last two in 2021 and 2022 and is coming down the stretch pitching as well as he ever has in his last two outings with saves in both playoff games against Cowlitz in the decisive game and in the one-game triumph over the Portland Pickles. Left-hander Sean Weiss, whose folks Casey and Amy are always to my left during the course of the game. I had a visit with Sean before the game. We will hear that next after this 2-minute break ahead of the West Coast League Championship game. A one-game winner-take-all affair, the Knights and Victoria. Great to have you with us on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the West Coast League Championship game on a hazy, smoky, hot Monday night to settle the West Coast League title. The Victoria HarbourCats and the Corvallis Knights with the Knights seeking their 7th consecutive West Coast League title. Sean Weiss, who has been a big part of the last two and has been a big part of the quest to make it 7 straight, joins me one more time this season as we get ready for the ball game tonight, an 8 o'clock start. Sean, first of all, what's going through your mind right now? I mean, there's one more baseball game. We have definition on that. What's on your mind at the moment?
What's on my mind is just enjoying where my feet are, enjoying it with all the brothers I have in this dugout, in this locker room, and enjoying it with the coaching staff for one last time this summer, and just really being grateful for where I'm at.
Sean, it's been such a pleasure to get to know your family. Your folks have become good friends these last several summers, so that's special in itself, but they're here to see you and support you game in and game out. Tell me what that means to you.
Oh, man. My family means the world to me. They're my why. They're the reason why I wake up every day and, go to class during the school year, and they're the reason why I wake up every day with good work ethic and just putting hard work first. I mean, they're the reason why I'm here. They've supported my dream, and I owe everything to them, and I love them with all my heart, and they're my why.
It's well said, and they're great people. Your mom's helped me through so many things that are going on during the game. She'll bring me a soda, she'll bring me a hot dog, she'll get my iPad back online when I don't know how to do it. So she's been a huge production assistant during the course of the year. But all the while, we're here to watch baseball, and I've really enjoyed this team and the story of this team. You've been on the last 2 championships. What, for you, how would you kind of try to size up or sum up this team this year and the quest for a 7th straight?
Yeah, I think if I could sum up our team this year, it's a bunch of selfless dudes who show up to the ballpark every day with hard work on their mind and just playing for one another and loving one another as a family. And that's something that really you don't get in summer ball, especially being a 3-month season. But I love these guys with all my heart. These guys are my second family. They're my brothers. I love all the coaches, the whole organization, and that's how I would sum it up, just a bunch of selfless guys who are playing for each other and love each other.
It's amazing, Sean, to see you guys are seeking a 10th championship for the organization and a 7th straight. Each club takes on its own personality. What you just described about a bunch of selfless dudes, it doesn't get much better than that. From a pure baseball standpoint, it strikes me that maybe the teams you've had in 21, maybe even last year, if you just took the overall production and talent level, maybe those clubs were, quote-unquote, a little bit better, and yet this team has found a way.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very blessed to be here for 3 summers, and, every team I've been on here has just been super talented, but I think the one thing that sets us apart is we're very scrappy. Like, we show up, and it's a fist fight every night, like Skip says about our games. It's a fist fight, and, we kind of just have the target on our back, and our backs are against the wall, and we got nothing to lose, so that's kind of how we play.
Sean, you responded so well, both you and Neil Feist. I was so proud of both of you. After the tough outcome in the first playoff game up in Longview, both of you came back with a vengeance, it seemed. So I guess you felt like that wasn't the note you guys wanted to go out on.
No, I mean, obviously, it's baseball. It happens. It's baseball. Sometimes you don't get the results that you want, but that's the beauty of baseball is every day is opening day, and you have a new opportunity every day you wake up and come to the field, and that's something that I really cherish now, being an older guy going into my 5th year, and I really cherish that saying is every day is a new opportunity, and that's just kind of my mindset, just been this whole summer and my whole baseball career.
Sean, you feel hot tonight, ready to go? I mean, it looks like it's lined up pretty well. Would you love to have the ball at the end of this thing if it comes about that way?
Of course, I would love to have the ball, but at the same time, if I'm not out there performing, I'm going to be the best teammate in the dugout and be a good supporter for those guys who are on the field. And all I care about is helping this team win the 7th in a row. That's all I care about. That's all that's been on my mind all summer is just getting us to that number 7 and doing everything I can, whether it's performing or supporting. I just want to do the very best that I can do each and every day.
Sean, as this summer went along, you had entered the transfer portal. We haven't really talked about this officially. We hinted around at it the last time we talked, but it's now official. So as we close the book on the summer of 2023, share with the fans kind of how it came about at Arizona Christian, and what's next? How excited you are for the opportunity?
Yeah, so I entered the transfer portal this summer looking for a new place to go, and it was really slow at first. It was really frustrating. I just remember calling my parents going like, gosh, I'm not getting anything. And then Marty Hunter, who was the coach I committed to at George Fox while I was in high school, he retired, and one of his best friends is the coach at Arizona Christian. And Marty called me and just said, hey, I have this opportunity for you. Just pick up the phone and give him a call. And so I picked up the phone, gave him a call, talked to Coach McDonald, and I loved it. I loved everything the program stands for, and it was something that I wanted to be a part of. And I'm really excited to get down in the fall and compete. But my main focus right now is competing for this number 7.
Well said again, Sean, and we'll leave it at that. Arizona Christian, what's ahead? Maybe another summer back here next year, but you guys are all in on one game, and that's tonight to bring home another championship. Great job again this summer, Sean. Great to see you and the guys again. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. It was great seeing you, and thank you.
Sean Weiss, my guest. The Knights bear down on a 7th consecutive championship. That's coming up on this smoky, hazy, but great night for baseball. The Knights in Victoria, the starting lineups and first pitch coming up after this 2-minute break from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the Knights live stream and 1240 Show Radio. A smoky, hazy night for the championship. We'll be back with the first pitch after our national anthems. We need to take care of some business here from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. O Canada, so the beautiful anthem honoring the Victoria HarbourCats and the Star-Spangled Banner. That will happen while we're away. When we come back, it's time for baseball in the West Coast League Championship game. The Knights in Victoria coming up in 2. Thanks for joining us on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The temperature has dropped to 93 degrees. The high today in the Mid-Valley ended up being 102 degrees. There had been some expectation that the temperature could rise as high as 109. Now, 102 is hot enough, and it still seems a prudent decision to have moved the game back to this 8 o'clock, and it'll be 8 and some change before Merritt Jones delivers his first pitch to the Victoria HarbourCats lineup, which I will give you here in a moment. But what did happen was the AQI rose alarmingly during the course of the day. It was 66 in the mid-afternoon, rose as high as 107. Now, I know there's different readings and different ways of reckoning upon the air quality index, but the latest that I show is 79. So that's high. It's the highest it's been for any Knights game all season long, but it has slipped under that 100 mark. 175 is the threshold at which teams cannot play games in the West Coast League, and we have had that challenged, as you probably recall, a couple of times over the last few summers when we've really been ravaged by wildfires and the smoke that has socked us in here in the Mid-Valley. Has a little bit of that feel tonight, but everything has come down. The temperature, the AQI, and anticipation, though, has risen for tonight's West Coast League Championship game between two outstanding clubs, outstanding franchises. The Victoria HarbourCats celebrating their 10th anniversary this season as part of the West Coast League. Ended up going 38-14. The Knights managed to be one game better at 39-15, and thus able to host this ball game rather than make the long trip up to Vancouver Island and the beautiful capital city of Victoria, British Columbia. The HarbourCats arrived today, but they did overnight in Longview, so they should be well rested and ready to keep their roll going. The Victoria HarbourCats red hot and coming in after their outstanding playoff run to get here. They are 3-0 and will try to keep their roll going with Marco Piricello leading things off, a left-handed hitter against Merritt Jones. And the first pitch from Merritt with his folks in town from Idaho Falls. It was a pleasure to meet them today. Marco takes outside, and we are underway on this hazy but a great night to be at the ballpark one more time in the summer of 2023. The 1-0 pitch missing high to Marco Piricello, 2 balls and no strikes. Merritt, a quick worker, delivers a strike and the count 2-1. The home plate umpire, Jim Courtney, Jacob Goba at first base, Troy Carmont at second, and Timothy Montoya at third. Merritt's big leg kick, the 2-1 change. A check swing just missed, but on appeal, swing, says the third base umpire, Timothy Montoya. And Merritt Jones, with a good changeup, has evened the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes as we get underway. Merritt's 2-2 pitch, breaking ball a little bit high. No appeal available on that. The count goes full, 3-2. Hudson Shoup, the shortstop, in the 2-hole on deck. Tyler Davis batting third, the catcher. Merritt's 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. A great start for Merritt Jones and the Knights as he fans the leadoff hitter, Marco Piricello. And that'll bring to the plate Hudson Shoup. Piricello has been red hot in the postseason, 4 for 9 with a triple, a couple of runs batted in, and 2 runs scored, leading the way from the top of the order. Hudson Shoup, the batter, 2 for 12 in the postseason. Hudson takes ball 1, 1-0. Trip Clark, the cleanup hitter at first base for the HarbourCats. Jesse Brown batting fifth and right. Merritt back to the plate, a bunt foul up along third, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Jesse Brown hitting fifth in right field. Oregon State's Dallas Macias. I had a chance to visit with Dallas before the game. He's batting sixth and left. He said he's loved his summer on the island. Ground ball to the hole at short. Yukimoto slides into it, throws, not in time. Hudson Shoup, an infield single with 1 out. The spray chart on Shoup indicated that he tends to be an up-the-middle hitter, and that's where Tai Yukamoto was stationed. If he simply was playing it straight away short, he'd have an out. But Hudson Shoup does a nice job to slap one to the 6 hole to Yukamoto's right. A one-out single for Hudson. Tyler Davis, the batter. And a tremendous leader, ball player, fastball to Tyler is high for ball one, 1-0. Davis in the postseason is 2 for 12 with a double and 3 runs scored. No score, just getting started. A late start, a throw to first by Merritt Jones, and back to the bag dives Hudson Shoup. Russell Young in the 7th hole for the HarbourCats, the DH. Jack Johnson hitting 8th at third base. Michael Crossland batting 9th in center. Davis Franklin getting the start. Merritt delivers, swung on and missed. Good fastball running down and in on Davis. And that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Tyler, who during the regular season, a fixture, hit .316 with 6 homers and a team leading 43 runs batted in. Merritt's 1-1 breaking ball, swung on and missed. The count 1-2 to Tyler Davis. We'll set the Knights defensively for you here in a moment. With Tyler Davis standing in, 6'1", 190 out of Fresno State, a throw to first, and Hudson Shoup back. Out of the stretch works Merritt Jones, working with battery mate Tyler Howard. And comes to the plate to Davis, and the breaking ball is swung out and missed for strike 3, 2 down. That'll bring to the plate big right-hand hitter Trip Clark out of Waco, Texas, 6'3", 220. Plays for Angelo State University in the Lone Star Conference and had a big year. .374, 9 homers, 65 runs batted in. Jones delivers, breaking ball, strike, and the count 0-1 to Trip Clark. On the summer for the HarbourCats, Trip has had a good year at .284. Couple of homers, 16 runs batted in. Hudson Shoup at first, held on by Ethan Hedges. Draws a throw and gets back. Merritt Jones and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Ethan Hedges at first, Mason Lee at second, Tai Yukamoto at short, Tyler Quinn at third, J.C. Ing in left, Ethan Hott in center, Sam Stem in right. Another throw to first, short hopped by Ethan Hedges. And Hudson Shoup doing a nice job to slap one to the 6 hole. A threat to run. 10 stolen bases on the season. Victoria has swiped 150. They ran more than the Knights did, and that's hard to do. A 16-team league, the top 2 base running teams in the league are here. Victoria with its 150 during the regular season, the Knights with 125. 1 ball and 1 strike to the right-hand hitting Trip Clark. He takes a strike, and the count 1-2. Merritt Jones doing a nice job changing speeds, moving the ball up and down, in and out. His parents really glad to be here. Wade Haslam has been the guest, the host parent for Merritt Jones. He introduced me to the folks before the game, and they're leading the cheers as Merritt Jones comes back and delivers. Breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Merritt Jones strikes out the side. A great way to get things started tonight here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. It's a big night. The Gibson family is here. Ryan Gibson, Parker, and Elliott moving through the ballpark. It's a big night because it's the West Coast League Championship game. We're delighted you've joined us. No runs, a hit, a man left. Left-hander Davis Franklin to face the Knights lineup back in '90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the first inning, Merritt Jones yielded an infield single, but struck out the side. Victoria failed to score. And now here come the Knights against left-hander Davis Franklin. Leading off at third base, Tyler Quinn. Batting second at second base, Mason Lee. Sam Stem hitting third in right field. Ethan Hedges, the cleanup hitter at first base. J.C. Ing batting fifth in left field. Ethan Hott hitting sixth in center. Davis Franklin to work. The lefty's first pitch to Tyler misses down and in, ball one. Tate Shamau batting seventh, the designated hitter. Tyler Howard hitting eighth and catching. Tai Yukamoto batting ninth at short. Franklin's 1-0 pitch, a little bit high, ball two. 2-0 to Tyler Quinn. Tyler 4 for 16 with 3 runs scored in the playoffs. 2 balls and no strikes. Davis Franklin back to the plate, delivers a knee-high strike, and the count 2-1. Davis Franklin and Tyler Davis, the battery for Victoria. Trip Clark at first, Marco Piricello at second, Hudson Shoup at short, Jack Johnson at third. Quinn swings and strokes one into left field. Laying out and making a sensational catch is Oregon State and Victoria's Dallas Macias. And while that is a disappointing result for the Knights and Tyler Quinn, part of me happy for Dallas and proud of him. Great young man and good ball player that has a bright future with the Beavs. He had a very good first year. Looking forward to big things coming from Dallas in the spring of 24. He takes a base hit away from Tyler Quinn. Mason Lee, the batter. The pitch on the way to Mason, a strike, and the count 0-1. Dallas in left field for the HarbourCats with Michael Crossland in center and Jesse Brown in right. Davis works out of the stretch with nobody on. The strike one pitch from the big lefty just misses, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Franklin 6'2", 195 from Sammamish, Washington. He attends the University of the Puget Sound. The 1-1 pitch, fastball in there for a strike, and the count 1-2 to Mason Lee. No score, bottom of the first inning. Lee has had a tremendous postseason. He's played in all 4 games and gone 5 for 11, 4 runs scored with 2 RBIs. He swings and hits one foul just over my head. The first action into Urchin Alley tonight. This is the final night at the ballpark, and I've not had a foul ball come up here all summer. So perhaps on this, the last opportunity. I'm usually good for 1 or 2 plays a summer. No action yet this year. We'll see if we can get one tonight adjacent to the sweltering press box to my left. A pop-up on the right side. Piricello, the second baseman, a couple of steps out in shallow right field, makes the catch. Davis Franklin has retired the first 2 Corvallis Knights. And Sam Stem, the hitter. Sam is 5 for 15 in the postseason with 2 runs batted in. He was the team leader in RBIs during the regular season with 42, tied with Tyler Quinn in home runs with 4. The Knights hit 15 home runs as a club, Victoria 25. Sam takes a strike and the count 0-1. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the first inning, no score. Brooke Knight, the skipper, in his usual post at third base, and the veteran coach, he of 4 West Coast League championship titles at Wenatchee, Ed Nags, coaching at first. The strike one pitch from Franklin to Stem misses down and away. Franklin went 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, and 5 strikeouts in a 4-2 playoff win over Wenatchee. He delivers to Stem, who fouls it back. And the count to Sam, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. So both teams obviously hot. You don't get to the title game unless you've been playing some good baseball. Victoria sweeping its series against Wenatchee and then defeating Bellingham to get here. Stem, a fly ball to left field. Backing up is Dallas Macias. Macias began the inning with a great catch. This one's a lot easier. He's up to it, pulls it in, and the Knights go in order in the first in the West Coast League Championship game presented by Pioneer Connect. Victoria nothing, the Knights nothing. We go to the second on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the second inning, no score in this West Coast League Championship game. Jesse Brown tries to bunt, leaves it foul up along third. The right-hand hitter awaits Merritt. The 0-1 fastball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jesse Brown, 5'11", 200-pound junior out of Chief Sealish International High School in Seattle. He competes at UCSB. He takes the fastball down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. Appeared in 14 games for Andrew Checketts this past spring with just 8 at-bats. The 2-1 pitch to Jesse, low, ball 3, 3-1. Jesse Brown, Dallas Macias, and Russell Young for the HarbourCats in the second. The 3-1 pitch to Jesse swung on and fouled over our heads into the Goss Stadium at Coleman Field entry area. 3-2 the count. Amy Weiss, one of our production assistants, Sean's mom to my left, informs me that the AQI has climbed to 84 from a start of 79. The 3-2 breaking ball outside, ball 4, and that's an excellent job by Jesse Brown. He gets on base to lead things off. He has stolen 7 bases on the regular season. And Brown arriving at first base, drawing the leadoff walk, has not attempted one in the 3 playoff games the HarbourCats have engaged in. Dallas Macias, a good bunt. This is going to be a base hit for Dallas, barehanded by Tyler Quinn, the third baseman. Tyler Howard rushes down to cover third as Merritt Jones and Tyler Quinn came together on the bunt up along third. Tyler Howard alertly went down to cover at third base to prevent Jesse Brown from racing over to an uncovered base. But Dallas Macias, who made the tremendous diving catch on Tyler Quinn to open the Knights' bottom of the first, lays down a bunt here for a base hit. Russell Young, the batter, we'll see if he's up there to bunt. 2 on, nobody out, no score, top of the second. Merritt Jones to the plate, and Young is bunting. Coach Haney, like Brooke Knight, a practitioner of the running game and the short game, 0-1 the count. Victoria has only sacrificed 13 times compared to the Knights' 41, but it's clear that Russell Young is up there at least on one pitch with the idea of sacrificing. We'll see if he's bunting again. Merritt Jones out of the stretch. 2 on, nobody out. Merritt bluffing Jesse Brown back to the bag at second. Brown at second, Macias at first. Dallas an excellent summer, 333 with a homer and 22 runs batted in. Dallas gets the bunt single down. He's now 3 for 13 in the postseason. 0-1 the count to Russell Young, who is bunting and shoves the bat out and bunts it foul back of the plate. And he's down in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes. Russell originally attended Johnson County Community College in Kansas, is now back at the University of British Columbia. Also attended Gonzaga, so he's well-traveled but kind of back in his homeland now. Merritt Jones delivers. The strike 2 pitch is slap foul off the Omaha Room brick facade and back down into the lower deck below the Jack Riley concourse. The count to Russell remains no balls and 2 strikes. He's out of Surrey, British Columbia, and now attending the University of British Columbia. No balls and 2 strikes. Went to Langley Secondary in high school. Merritt Jones to the plate. Fastball high and inside. Ball 1, 1-2. The HarbourCats putting pressure on the Knights here in the second in the form of a walk and a bunt single. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Merritt Jones has a pretty deep run in him, according to Bo Kearns, if he's pitching well, and he is. Fastball swung on, foul-tipped and held. Strike 3, 4 strikeouts now for Merritt. Jack Johnson will come to the plate, the right-hand hitting third baseman. Johnson out of Westlake High School in Thousand Oaks, attends Baylor University. Hit 185 at Baylor this past spring. His father, Kevin, was a player in the minor league system for the Montreal Expos. Johnson at the plate with 2 on and 1 out. Swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it from Merritt Jones. No balls and 1 strike. The Knights in Victoria met in 2017, a memorable series. And then 2 years later, met again. The Knights winning the championship both times here after beginning the series at Royal Athletic Park on the island, beautiful Vancouver Island in the capital city. A throw to second base. Mason Lee receives the toss from Merritt Jones, keeping an eye on Jesse Brown at second. Dallas Macias at first. No balls and a strike to Jack Johnson. Merritt to the plate. Sprayed foul towards Urchin Alley to our right. The Urchins give chase in the count to Jack Johnson. No balls and 2 strikes. Those were indeed memorable series in 17 and 19. Victoria a walk-off in 17 to take game 1. The Knights then came back and won games 2 and 3 here. Fastball from Merritt just outside. A good pitcher's pitch. Not really a strike, just off the plate. And Jack Johnson had the discipline to lay off and stay up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Jesse at second, Dallas Macias at first. 1 and 2 to Jack Johnson. And the Knights have Johnson picked off. Merritt Jones runs at the runner, Jesse Brown, and a tag made by the second baseman, Mason Lee, for the pickoff of Jesse Brown. Beautifully timed. Merritt Jones running at Jesse and then flipping the ball to Mason Lee for the putout on Jesse, who got a little frisky between second and third and mistimed his jump. He was ready to try to swipe third, and Merritt stepped off and had him dead to rights. Macias remains at first. The 1-2 fastball, high and inside, ball 2, 2-2. Dallas stole 14 bases for the HarbourCats during the regular season. He's at first with 2 down, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jack Johnson. Merritt to the plate, breaking ball, runs down and in. Ball 3, 3-2. Macias will be taking off on the pitch. Johnson hit .258, played in 49 games during the regular season. A homer and 27 runs batted in. Macias goes. Merritt's 3-2 pitch, a chopper up along third, a fair ball fielded by Quinn, and he airmails it over the head of Ethan Hedges. Rounding third is Macias. He will hold. The throw comes back in from Ethan to Tyler Howard. A rare mistake, maybe an adrenaline kind of mistake for Tyler Quinn, who has been superb at third base and wherever the Knights have played him this summer. He received that ball even with the bag and then threw one about 15 feet over the head of Ethan Hedges. Ethan played it well off the protective netting, jutting out down the first base side beyond the Victoria dugout. Jack Johnson into second base on the throwing error. Michael Crossland, the hitter, and a chance for Victoria to get a couple of unearned runs on the board here in the second. Crossland swings at the off-speed pitch, doesn't get it. No balls and one strike to Michael. Runners at second and third, 2 down. Crossland out of Roosevelt High School in Roosevelt, Washington, competes at UC San Diego. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball fouled at the plate, and the count 0-2. Merritt Jones is simply attempting to shrug off the throwing error on Tyler Quinn's part and come back and get the out to put a 0 on the board again here in the second. Macias at third, Johnson at second, 2 down, no score. Merritt to the plate. The strike 2 slider misses away. Ball 1, 1-2. Good take again by Crossland. Merritt with 4 strikeouts. He fanned the side in the first, trying to survive a leadoff walk, a bunt single, and an error, and put up a 0. The right-hander comes back. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3 to retire the side. Tyler Quinn comes over and kind of says, "My bad," to Merritt Jones, and Merritt pulls the Sandy Koufax, who went to Willie after 3 errors on 1 play in the 1966 World Series, a game I attended. Koufax's last game, I was there. Willie made 3 errors on 2 plays, consecutive plays in Game 2. Willie went to the dugout in the corner and cried, and it was the only player that came up to him to talk to him, the elegant, gracious, and great man and outstanding pitcher in Sandy Koufax, to say, "Willie, you've saved me so many times with catches, don't sweat it." And Willie said he'd never felt more cared for by a teammate than in those moments. Not quite as dramatic here, but the error ends up not costing Merritt Jones. Jim Palmer went out to shut out the Dodgers that day, 6-0. We are through 1.5, no score in the championship game in the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the second inning, no score in the West Coast League Championship game between the Victoria HarbourCats and the Corvallis Knights. Left-hander Davis Franklin missing on the first pitch to Ethan Hedges. Ethan fouls the 1-0 offering into Urchin Alley. 1-1 the count. Davis comes back and just misses for ball 2. It is not an especially generous zone thus far for home plate umpire Jim Courtney. 2 balls and a strike to Ethan Hedges. J.C. Ing on deck with Ethan Hott to follow. The 2-1 pitch, a little low and inside. Ball 3 to Witt. 3-1 to Ethan. Hedges in the postseason, 2 for 14. The 3-1 pitch, a ground ball to short. Hudson Shoup looks it in. He throws a little bit high, and he pulls his first baseman, Trip Clark, off the bag, and Hedges is safe. Perhaps it is attributable to some adrenaline, nerves, tension. Hudson Shoup has been a sure-handed, sure-throwing shortstop all season for Victoria. Tyler Quinn has certainly been that at the hot corner for the Knights. Quinn an error in the top of the inning, and now a throwing error on Hudson Shoup's part to open the Knights' second. A bunt up along third by J.C. Ing. The only play is to first. Well done by Jack Johnson. He throws to Trip Clark for the out. But the Knights, as they are wont to do, play the short game, and the sacrifice works 5-3, sending Ethan Hedges to second and bringing Ethan Hott to the plate. As the Knights, on a smoky haze-filled night with the AQI, it has been over 100 today, has dropped down, I think, to about 89 now. Trying to break through it and get the game's first lead. Ethan Hott takes a strike in the count 0-1. Good crowd on hand. Both teams have tremendous fan bases. Royal Athletic Park a happening. The strike one pitch, Ethan tried to check his swing but goes around and is down in the count 0-2. 3,600 fans were on hand at Royal Athletic Park and watched the HarbourCats engage in an amazing rally in the championship game against the Bellingham Bells from 5-0 down to win 7-6 and earn the right to make the trip here. The strike two pitch is whacked back up the middle into center field by Ethan Hott for a base hit. Ethan Hedges rounding third. He scores with a head first slide just to make sure. An RBI single for Hott. He scores. Ethan Hedges. Ethan and Ethan get it done. 1-0 Knights here in the first. Here in the second inning, an unearned run. Ethan Hedges aboard on the error, and the Knights take advantage. Ethan Hott, the RBI single. Tate Shamau, the batter. And the first pitch to the Knights' designated hitter, a strike in the count 0-1. Ethan Hott now 6 for 14 in the playoffs and just picked up his fourth run batted in. Davis Franklin to the plate. The strike one pitch. Shamau tried to check his swing on appeal. No swing, says the first base umpire, Yako Goba. A bit of a break there for Shamau, I'll be bound. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. 1-0 Knights on an unearned run here in the second. Ethan Hott held on by Trip Clark. Davis Franklin slide steps. The runner goes, and the pitch is fouled above the netting on the first base side for the HarbourCats. The count goes to 1-2. Franklin pretty quick to the plate. Hott did not have a great jump. It was not a straight steal. Shamau asked to engage in a hit and run. 1-2 the count with 1 out. Tyler Howard on deck. Franklin throws to first, and Ethan Hott back to the bag. Ethan was one of the more prolific runners, 18 bags on the season to lead the team during the regular season. Caught 3 times. Fastball away, and the count 2-2 from Davis Franklin to Tate Shamau. 1-0 Knights in the bottom of the second. Out of the stretch works Davis Franklin. Comes to the plate and misses high. Ball 3. 3-2 to Shamau. Brooke Knight now with a decision whether to send Ethan Hott. I suspect that Ethan will be on the move. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Tate Shamau with 1 out. There goes Hott. The 3-2 pitch. Low for ball 4. Once again, a pretty tight zone. The pitching coach for the Victoria HarbourCats, an old friend and a tremendous pitching coach and various stops along the way, Scott Anderson. Scott pitched for Jack Riley and the Beavers here in the mid-'70s, was a guy drafted 3 different times. Scott was drafted in the first round, the second round, and the fourth round, went on to play 6 years of professional baseball. Had a chance to visit briefly with Scott before the game. A great Beaver. And he said his parting words were, "We'll talk about our Beavs here down the road. Now is not the time." But he, like everybody, anxious to find out just sort of what's next. But first things first, the Knights in this championship game leading 1-0 and trying to add on. Tyler Howard takes a strike, 0-1 to Tyler, coming off a 3-hit game in the winner-take-all contest against Portland here Saturday. He swings and dunks one into shallow center. Coming in a hurry is Crossland. He was playing shallow, and Michael makes the catch. When the ball first left Michael's bat, I thought he'd found no man's land, but Crossland was positioned well. Good scouting reports studied and imparted to the HarbourCats players. Crossland catches the little fly ball to center. 2 down. Tai Yukamoto, the batter. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the second inning. Davis Franklin set, works Yukamoto. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count. Tai was the Knights' leading hitter during the regular season. 303 with 17 runs batted in. 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Corvallis in the second. The strike one pitch to Yukamoto. A fly ball to left field. Moving over is Macias. Dallas is there to make the catch. The inning is over. The Knights take advantage of the error to open the frame and cash it in for an unearned run on 1 hit. An error, 2 left. And at the end of 2, the Knights won and Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. One nothing Knights to the top of the third inning. Merritt Jones delivers to Marco Piricello, who takes away ball 1, 1-0. Piricello struck out to open the game. The left-hand hitting second baseman takes the 1-0 pitch down and in. The first time around, Merritt fell behind 2-0, came back to get Piricello. Piricello from Rockland in Northern California. Plays baseball at Fresno State. Started 31 games for the Bulldogs this past spring. He takes the 2-0 pitch. Down and away for ball 3. 3-0. Merritt issued a walk last inning and has a 4-pitch walk on his slate. An inauspicious beginning, to be sure, to the third. So, the tying run aboard in the form of a 4-pitch walk. Piricello stole 10 bases during the regular season. He was caught 7 times. 1-0 Knights in the third. Hudson Shoup, an infield single in the first inning, the batter. Out of the stretch works Merritt Jones. Hudson takes the fastball away, ball one, 1-0. Shoup out of Hanford High School, West Richland, Washington. Out to the mound goes Tyler Howard. Began his career with Gonzaga, with Seattle University this past spring. Started 53 games and hit a record for a freshman for the Red Hawks, .333. Good-looking young ball player, led the team with 72 hits. Shoup with a base hit in his first at-bat in this title game. Has the count his way, 1-0. With Piricello at first, the 1-0 pitch misses high. Ball two, 2-0. Merritt is yet to throw a strike in the inning after being staked to the 1-0 lead on an unearned run. 2 balls and no strikes to Shoup. Tyler Davis on deck. Shoup has not shown bunt. Tyler Quinn, though, still in at the edge of the grass at third. The 2-0 pitch, a called strike. The stinginess, the tightness suddenly becomes a bit more generous. Merritt Jones got a bit of a break on that pitch. Backing out of the box, Shoup in frustration, told to get back in the box by Jim Courtney. The 2-1 pitch is slashed foul above the Knights' dugout on the third base side. The count even, 2-2. I can just hear Al Michaels, Game 5 in the '86 playoffs and the infamous loss for Gene Mauch and the Angels. Steve Crawford delivered a 2-0 pitch with the bases loaded with a pennant at third. The 2-0 pitch was a called strike, and Al said 2 and barely 1. Now the 2-2 pitch here is high, ball 3. Had Crawford gone to 3-0, we might not have seen the heroics of the Red Sox and the collapse of Buckner and all that had the count gone 3-0. But 2 and barely 1, Crawford got through the at-bat, and the Red Sox came back to win that game in series. 3-2, a throw to first. Scrambling back is Marco Piricello. Merritt Jones again trying to get a HarbourCat runner tipping his hand and leaving early. Coach Burt whistled over for a bit of counsel in the ear of Piricello, who gets his lead. Likely Marco is running here. Merritt Jones from the stretch. Piricello goes. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is not in time. Hudson Shoup strikes out, but he swung through the pitch. Howard was a little late in delivering the ball down to second. But Piricello, the tying run, is safely in with the stolen base. Now Tyler Davis, the batter. Davis struck out in the first inning. 6 strikeouts from Merritt Jones. He glances back at Piricello. Tyler Davis, a chopper foul up along third. Davis was hopping up and down in pain before Jim Courtney signaled and ruled foul ball. And indeed, Davis hitting the ball off his front foot. He, too, out of Fresno State. Had a nice year for the Bulldogs. 4 homers and 27 RBIs, starting 51 games as Fresno State's catcher. No balls and a strike, 1-0 Knights in the third. The tying run at second for Victoria. Fastball swung on and missed. Merritt Jones ahead of the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Davis out of Lopez brother country, Brooks and Robin Lopez, the twins out of San Joaquin Memorial High School. No balls and 2 strikes to Tyler. Jones delivers, breaking ball, got him swinging, 2 down. Seven strikeouts from Merritt Jones. And Trip Clark, whom Merritt fanned in the first inning to complete a strikeout of the side, steps in with the tying run. Marco Piricello at second with 2 down. Merritt to the plate. Fastball sliced down the right field line, foul by about a yard and a half. No balls and a strike to Trip Clark. This is the second time in my experience with the Knights that a game has been moved due to weather conditions. You remember 2 years ago, June 27th, with a projected high of 111. The game was scheduled for 5 o'clock, at which time it would have been 111 on a Sunday. The game was moved at 10 a.m. This ball game moved from 6:35 to 8 because of expected highs of around 109. We didn't quite get there. 102 is plenty hot. The strike one pitch swung on and missed by Tripp Clark. The count 0-2. A leadoff walk to Marco Piricello. Merritt Jones again trying to pitch around that. He's a strike away from fanning the side for a second time. The 0-2 pitch, and he does it again. Swung on and missed, strike 3. The inning is over. 3 more strikeouts for Merritt Jones. 8 of the 9 outs for Victoria have been by strikeout. Piricello left at second. We go to the bottom of the third in the West Coast League Championship game. The Knights won and Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Knights. Tyler Quinn, who lined out on a diving catch by Dallas Macias in the first inning, steps in against Davis Franklin and takes a strike from the lefty. The 0-1 pitch, Tyler a ground ball to short. Hudson Shoup charges, juggles, stays with it, and throws Tyler out. 1 away. Last inning began with a throwing error on Hudson Shoup's part, and the Knights took advantage with a sacrifice bunt by J.C. Ing and an RBI single by Ethan Hott. Mason Lee popped out to second base in his first at-bat. Davis Franklin out of the stretch. Throws a first pitch strike to Mason. Along the way this summer, it's a real pleasure to meet many of the parents, family members, and friends of Knights ball players. The strike one pitch to Mason in there for strike 2. And certainly a pleasure to meet Twan and Catherine Lee during the course of the summer. Pete and Sarah Arrow, Stan and Lisa DeBeck, who are here tonight. The pitch on the way, strike 3 called. Quick work made of Mason Lee by Davis Franklin. 2 down, and Sam Stem the batter. Ethan Hedges folks, Amy Clevenger. Got to learn about Ron Quintana, Levi Jones's grandfather, listening down in Texas. Real pleasure to visit with all of you during the course of the season. Thank you for all of the support of the Knights. The pitch on the way to Stem rolled foul outside of first. And while I'm at it, our live stream crew, Casey Lavin, Thomas Rudolph, Andrew Henderson, the guys that I had the pleasure of working with primarily, Connor Heath, the analytics director, and providing me with stats along with Kai, Brooks Hatch, Glenda Curry in the press box. Dan Siegel, Bree, Jen getting us going this year. Jen Beaumont. The pitch to Sam Stem swung on and missed in the count 0-2. Casey and Amy Weiss to my left. Gary and Sylvia. Colleen in the front office. Derek Buchheit. Time fails. Devont. Now the interns too did a great job. Time fails to name them all. No balls and 2 strikes to Stem, who swings and hooks one foul down the right field line. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the third, 1-0 Knights in this title game. But the interns I ended up seeing the most of and interacting with, and pleasure to get to know Devontae, Carly, Taylor, Ruby, Avery, Delaney, another tremendous crew. It made it a real pleasure to come to the ballpark night in and night out here in the summer of 23. This is the last. The strike 2 pitch, Sam Stem battling Davis Franklin. No balls and 2 strikes, and I'm sure that experience in the HarbourCats community has been repeated again with their tremendous fan base in the capital city of British Columbia, now the second largest market in the West Coast League to Portland. The strike 2 pitch to Sam Stem, high and away in the count 1-2. The Knights and Victoria met in a memorable series in 17, with Victoria rallying for 2 in the bottom of the 9th to take the opener of the best-of-3 series at Royal Athletic Park. The Knights, though, rallied to take the next 2 and win the championship. The pitch to Stem is swung on and missed for strike 3, and we have ourselves, as befits a championship game, a pitcher's duel. Well pitched by Merritt Jones and Davis Franklin. The Knights go in order, and at the end of 3, the Knights won and Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field in the West Coast League Championship game, the Corvallis Knights 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error. Victoria, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Ground ball to short on the first pitch of the 4th inning off the bat of Jesse Brown. Tai Yukamoto fields cleanly, throws a little bit high, but a good stretch by Ethan Hedges to avert an error. 1 pitch, 1 out. Dallas Macias, the batter. Macias has a bunt single and a brilliant diving catch out in left field. Merritt with a big leg kick delivers down and away. 1-0 Knights in the 4th. The game can officially be called official with Paul Blackburn arriving. I don't think Paul's missed many Knights games over the last few summers. He's here. Macias hits one off the end of the bat on 2 hops to shortstop Tai Yukamoto. Tai fields and throws to first. Quickly 2 down in the 4th. 1-0 Knights. Russell Young, the designated hitter, the batter. And a pleasure to be joined by West Coast League Commissioner Rob Nyer on this championship night in Corvallis. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening. It's great to be here.
And really a decision, I don't know how you and clearly Dan Siegel, Victoria needed to sign off on it too. The first pitch from Merritt Jones, high and inside. But to start this ball game at 8, a wise decision. It seems to be playing out that way.
Oh, it's been great. I've been to many, many games over the years.
The 1-0 pitch fouled at the plate in the count 1-1.
Where I was warmer or at least stickier than I have been in tonight's game. Back in the Midwest, start at 7:30, but boy, 9:30, it's still, you're dripping with sweat. So this is really not bad at all.
A pleasant night and a good crowd for the title game. The 1-1 pitch, a fly ball to right. Sam Stem is right there to make the catch. A much more democratic inning according to the doctrine of Crash Davis, because for the first time, really, after striking out 8 in the first 3 innings, a couple of ground balls and a fly ball, but the kind of inning Merritt Jones needed. He retires the HarbourCats in order. We'll continue the conversation with the Commissioner, Rob Nyer, as we go to the bottom of the 4th. The Knights 1, the HarbourCats nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-0 Knights, and unearned run scored by Ethan Hedges in the second. Ethan got aboard on an error, came around to score on a base hit by Ethan Hott. He takes a strike, does Hedges here against Davis Franklin. The 0-1 pitch is punched foul to the right and out of play. Mike Parker joined by West Coast League Commissioner Rob Nyer. Rob, this is the title game, the culmination of another. It just feels to me, I'm only in one organization and follow one team, but it felt like a really good summer for the league. What are your thoughts?
Well, we had a great summer. Our attendance was up significantly this season. I think we're going to wind up being up around 12, 13%, which is year over year. That's a huge difference.
0-2 the count to Ethan Hedges. Davis Franklin delivers high, the count 1-2, with Edmonton leading the way in a big way. Huh?
Yeah, they had some massive crowds. I mean, I thought they would have they would have a halo effect in year 1. They did far better in year 2 after getting the word out.
That's great. It's really great to hear. The pitch to Hedges, pop foul into the stands down to our right. It remains 1-2. The Pickles continue to draw well. Victoria had 3,600 the other night for their game against Bellingham. The Knights are consistent every year. This is a great championship crowd. When you don't have a time to pre-sell these things, yes, Rob, I think this is a tremendous turnout given that fact, and 102 degrees and the haze, et cetera. The pitch to Hedges down and away, and the count 2-2.
Well, it's funny you asked about the season. Until this last few days, we've had the most amazing weather this season.
Yeah.
Compared to some previous seasons.
No doubt. This is the first time we've really dealt with smoke here all year. The 2-2 pitch hit foul. And has that been fairly true, Rob, across the board? Wildfires throughout the Pacific Northwest have impinged upon our seasons. Not so much this year.
Not so much this year. The only place we've had some issues, Kamloops lost one game to smoke, and they've had another fires in the area, but they didn't lose any other games.
The 2-2 pitch to Hedges fouled back. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the 4th. Ethan Hedges, J.C. Ing, and Ethan Hott. And this is the second year of the 8-team playoff format where you give 8 different franchises an opportunity to host a game. I love it. I'm not, I'd be interested in the feedback you're getting. The pitch is just outside to Ethan to run the count full to 3-2.
Well, we had great crowds in all of our playoff markets. last year, again this year. I've not heard a single complaint or word of discouragement about that new playoff format. I'm really happy with it.
The 3-2 pitch to Ethan Hedges taken a little bit high, and the operative phrase is a little bit for ball 4. Good discipline on the part of Hedges to draw the leadoff walk here in the 4th. J.C. Ing, the batter. And Rob, just with the minor leagues and the contraction that's gone on, and, you know, Edmonton was a tremendous AAA city for so many years. Portland, too, of course, a great AAA city. Victoria's had the Northwest League. Here's a bunt by J.C. Ing. It's a great bunt, and it's going to be a base hit. Up there to sacrifice, but he put it in a perfect spot. J.C. Ing with a drag bunt base hit that splits the defense. And the Knights have 2 on and nobody out for Ethan Hott, trying to add to a 1-0 lead. The product has won people over in all of these markets.
Yes, yes. And that's a real testament to all the people who run those teams and put on a great show. I've been to most of our stadiums this season, and no matter where I went, the games are professionally run. The teams look great. The kids are fantastic with the fans. It's just a great product.
Ethan Hott up there. He is up to bunt. He pulls back and takes inside, ball 1. This is Brooke Knight in his Corvallis Knights mode. The short game still lives here, Rob. We'll see some activity. Zach Johnson heading down toward the Corvallis Knights bullpen. Merritt Jones, the Knights starter, has been brilliant, as has Davis Franklin. The only run unearned. Ethan Hott gets a bunt down, fielded by the catcher, Tyler Davis. He throws to first to get Hott. The sacrifice works 2-3. The Knights have runners at second and third and 1 out. Tate Shamau, the batter. That's good baseball right there, and I'm glad to say, Rob Nyer, that type of baseball alive and well at this level.
Oh,
still.
absolutely. Yeah. Most of our coaches do love sacrifice bunts especially. And, you know, it does, and I know, Mike, you're an analytically savvy guy. It makes more sense at this level than it does in the professional level because more of those sacrifice attempts are going to go for hits or errors.
The infield halfway, as instructed by head coach Todd Haney. Tate Shamau, a full swing and a miss, 0-1 the count. Brooke is a practitioner of the safety squeeze, the occasional suicide squeeze. In fact, it was a steal of home by Andy Atwood that helped turn the series for the Knights back in 2017 against Victoria in the best-of-3 series.
Well, and what about the game the other night against Cowlitz?
Absolutely. The strike one pitch, 1 on a suicide squeeze. Shamau drops one foul into Urchin Alley. 0-2 the count. Ethan Hedges at third, J.C. Ing at second, 1 out. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the 4th. The infield halfway for the HarbourCats. Davis Franklin working out of the stretch. Tyler Howard, the on-deck hitter. Franklin kicks and comes with the 0-2 pitch. A little bit high, ball 1. 1-2 in this Victoria club. 150 bags stolen during the year. I mean, that's the Knights usually lead the league in that category. They had 125. So it's good baseball. It's compelling baseball. I know even at the MLB level, they're trying to stimulate the running game. The 1-2 pitch is high and inside, ball 2. Your prescient book, Powerball, from a few years ago. When you look at the major leagues now, does it feel a little different than the book you wrote about that season?
Absolutely. When I wrote that book, there had been no movement toward speeding up the game a little bit. And
the 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit foul off to the right and out of play. Did you, I can't remember, I love the book, I can't quite remember, did you get into some ideas that Major League Baseball should look into to stimulate the game a little bit?
Well, really the biggest one was just to enforce the existing rules about how much time you can take between pitches. Those rules have always been on the book, they just weren't enforced.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 1 out. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the 4th. Runners at second and third for Tate Shamau. Franklin delivers the breaking ball low to run the count full to 3-2. Tyler Howard on deck. It's a 1-game winner-take-all championship format. Davis Franklin was very good against Wenatchee in his first start. He's been good tonight. There is a right-hander throwing back of him in the HarbourCat bullpen. The 3-2 pitch is high and inside to load the bases for Tyler Howard. Joined by Commissioner Rob Nyer. Rob, are you enjoying this as a gig in your life? I didn't know when you took it. I'm not sure how long. What year are you wrapping up here now?
I took over as commissioner in the spring of 2018, so this is my 5th season because we lost a season.
And, I didn't, when you did it, and here comes Todd Haney, likely a pitching change coming with a right-hander, Tyler Howard, a right-handed hitter at the plate. Coach Haney out for a visit and probably a change. We'll keep an eye on things. The Knights have the bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 4th, leading 1-0. When you said yes to the opportunity, what were you thinking about, and then how has it played out subsequently?
Well, gosh, a lot of stories there, but the truth is I just finished my book, Powerball, or was about to finish it. I had nothing lined up for the summer, and Dan Seal came to me and said, Rob, we're looking for somebody, and the job won't entail too much work. Maybe rule on a few things over the course of the season, send out an ejection notice, whatever. So I thought, sure, why not? It'd just be a fun summer experience. I'll write a book about it maybe.
And here you are. Well, Todd Haney stays with left-hander Davis Franklin. That's a vote of confidence for the young lefty who delivers a first pitch strike to Tyler Howard. 0-1 the count. The Knights with the bases loaded and 1 out. The infield a double play depth for the HarbourCats. The strike 1 pitch to Howard off the mitt of the catcher Tyler Davis. The pitch just missed being a called strike, but Tyler didn't frame it up for Jim Courtney. The count even. 1 ball and 1 strike with Ethan Hedges at third, J.C. Ing at second, Tate Shamau at first, and 1 out. The 1-1 pitch lifted foul into Urchin Alley to the right, and the Urchins are well prepared on this late Monday night. I don't know how many ballparks afford this kind of thing, but the kids, they come and they got their gloves and they wait and they get plenty of action during the course of the night. 1-2 the count to Howard. The pitch to Tyler off speed, swung on and missed. Big strikeout of Tyler Howard with a runner at third and less than 2. 2 down, Tai Yukamoto, the batter. This is a beautiful scene, Rob. I don't know how common that is. I know there's grassy berms and foul balls, but this is unique.
Well, it reminds me of Waveland Avenue in Chicago.
Yeah, right. They're getting foul balls instead of home runs here, but it's still a cool scene.
It's better because you're going to get more foul balls than home runs.
Tai Yukamoto at the plate. Coach Haney staying with the lefty Davis Franklin to pitch to the right-hand hitting Howard, thinking perhaps about this matchup with a dangerous Yukamoto, the left-handed hitter. The first pitch missing to tie. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the 4th, bases loaded, 2 down. Yukamoto whacks it to right. Going back on the ball is Jesse Brown to backhand it, and the inning is over. Yukamoto gives it a good long ride, but the Knights leave 3. We've got ourselves a good one in the West Coast League Championship game. We'll wrap things up with Commissioner Nyer when we come back. We are through 4. It's the Knights 1 and Victoria 0 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 5th inning into the smoky haze on this Monday night. A high fly off the bat of the leadoff hitter here in the 5th inning. Jack Johnson swinging at the first pitch. A fly ball to right, and Sam Stem locates and catches it. One gone. Michael Crossland, the batter. Michael struck out in the second. Merritt Jones suddenly using his defense. That's 4 consecutive outs after striking out 8 in the first 3 innings. His breaking ball to Crossland misses down and away. Ball 1. 1-0 Knights, top of the 5th inning in the West Coast League Championship game. The 1-0 pitch missing down and away. Ball 2. Rob Nyer, the commissioner, tremendous writer, has written so many thoroughly entertaining, engaging books. The 2-0 pitch is pulled foul down the left field line, and the count 2-1. You said moments ago, maybe write a book about it. Are you considering it? Can you let us in on whether or not there may be a book here in all of these experiences?
Well, I know there is. I'm not sure if I figured out what that book is. I know I had a book. I had a book about my first summer. It had a great ending. And then they brought me back. And the book went away.
Yeah. The 2-1 pitch, missing high and inside, ball 3. I thought Roger Kahn, I love Roger Kahn, the late, great writer. His book, Good Enough to Dream. I don't know if you ever read that.
I absolutely have and loved it.
The 3-1 pitch, a ground ball to the hole at short. Yukamoto up with it, fires to first and gets Michael Crossland. Nice play by Yukamoto. 2 down. And Marco Piricello, the batter. I thought for Roger that whole experience owning the Utica club was funny too. If you remember, Larry Lee was a prominent player on that club at Utica and was Brooks Lee's dad and is the head coach at Cal Poly. So I met Larry here 4 summers ago, and we got to talk about Kahn and that whole book. But for Roger, who wrote, of course, of the Boys of Summer, to go down and own a minor league team, I thought that was a very interesting read.
It really was. There's so many great stories beneath the major league level that can be told, and I'd love to tell some of mine, but I just haven't figured out a way to tie it all together yet.
0-1 to Marco Piricello, swinging at the first pitch from Merritt Jones. The 0-1 pitch missing, and the count 1-1. 2 down, nobody on in the 5th. 1-0 Knights. This could be Merritt's final inning of work. We saw Zach Johnson trotting down to the pen a bit earlier. A slicing fly to left, but playable. Backing up is J.C. Ing to make the catch. Rob, can you hang on? That was a quick inning. We'll go one more half with the commissioner, Rob Nyer. Merritt Jones retires the side in order. He's retired 9 in a row since a walk in the 3rd. And at the end of 4.5 in the West Coast League Championship game, the Knights won and Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Josh Berenbaum out of University of the Fraser Valley and from Richmond, British Columbia, is the new pitcher. The right-hander with a tough act to follow. 1-0 Knights, an unearned run, the lone tally in the game for the Knights against left-hander Davis Franklin. And now Berenbaum delivers to Tyler Quinn. High and inside, ball one. The top of the order for the Knights, Tyler Quinn, Mason Lee, and Sam Stem. Quinn, a towering pop fly on the right side. Second baseman Marco Piricello in on the green.
And Josh played a big role in the HarbourCats win over Bellingham the other night when their big comeback.
That was a tremendous win for them. I mean, to be down early in a championship game, 3,600 fans come out and you're down 5-0 early. They rallied back and won it 7-6 to earn the right to come here. Josh Berenbaum, University of the Fraser Valley, gets the first out of the bottom of the fifth. Mason Lee, the batter. Mason takes a strike. Mason has popped to second and struck out looking. Visiting with Commissioner Rob Nyer on this championship night in Corvallis. The 0-1 breaking ball swung on and missed, and Berenbaum is quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Want to wish a happy birthday to B.G. Gould, the de facto mayor of Medford, who has been keeping me apprised of Wade Meckler making his major league debut with the Giants today. The strike 2 pitch hit foul over our heads into Urchin Alley. The count remains 0-2. Berenbaum in that title game went 1 2/3, walked 3, but he struck out 3 and helped hold off Bellingham late in that 7-6 win. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3. Good slider to get Mason Lee.
Happy birthday to our friend Dale Scott as well.
Oh, my goodness. Good for Dale. How's he enjoying retirement?
I think he absolutely loves it.
Dale was a tremendous ambassador, I thought, for our state and our area throughout his time in the major leagues. Loved the fact he went to school down the road. He was from Portland. 2 down and nobody on. Sam Stem, the batter, fouls one to the left and out of play. Really just acquitted himself so well in a tremendous career. I'm really happy for Dale. So I'm glad. I didn't know it was his birthday today. I think he's in my range or close to it.
I think that's about right. And he was just elected to the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
Excellent. I did not know that. Thank you for that. The strike 1 pitch down and in. 1-1 the count. 2 down, nobody on. 1-0 Knights in the bottom of the fifth. So when Dan said, you're not going to have too much work to do, how much has that proven to be true through the years?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Next time we get together for dinner.
Sam Stems takes high, ball 2, 2-1. But whatever the case, here you are now wrapping up a 5th season, and there's got to be some level of gratification and enjoyment to keep coming back. So, Rob, we're really glad you're here, and we'll be watching you tonight on the field presenting the West Coast League Championship Trophy. Something you've grown accustomed to doing with the Knights, but this is a tight ball game tonight, Rob. It's anybody's game.
It is anybody's game. I will say before I go that I tell people my greatest pleasure is having my name on the baseball. That's not really true.
The 3-1 pitch to Sam swung on and missed.
My greatest pleasure is getting to come to the ballpark and spend time with people like you. It's just that's where it's the people. That's where the real pleasure comes in for me is all the great people I get to spend time with.
Thank you, Rob. There's so many great people in this league. What a wonderful story it's been. The 3-2 pitch to Sam Stem sails high and away for ball 4. Sam trots down to first, and Ethan Hedges, the batter. Ethan has scored the game's lone run. Whatever happens tonight, this is a little love, I guess, for us and this organization here now for the moment. If Victoria wins and ends the reign of 6 straight championships, more power to them, and congratulations. They would well deserve it. But no matter how you cut it, I see Dan Siegel, the CEO, sitting just a couple of rows in front of us. To win 6 straight, to have a chance to win a 10th, a remarkable standard that Dan and the Knights have set, that everyone in this league, all the other 15 teams, are trying to, in a very real sense, get there on their own.
And, you know, the championships are the shiny object that people focus, and they should. But it's almost, for me, more impressive that they've been to 16 straight postseasons. That's incredible. Never an off year, ever.
Right. Yeah, it's really, really something. And every year, too, the 1-0 pitch to Hedges high and away. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Knights, and a 2-out walk to Sam Stem. Now 2-0 to Hedges. Sam will run on you. The right-hander, Berenbaum, comes set. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. Yeah, and this year even there was, how good is this team? And they find their way.
Yes. It was just a shock they didn't win the first half. although they weren't far off. And then the second half, of course, they played like they always do.
22-5 to get here. Victoria, how about their record at home?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
A new record, right, for home.
25-2, yep.
Incredible, and the Knights are grateful they're not at Royal Athletic Park at the moment, as wonderful as it is. Sam goes. He got a great jump, and he's safely into second. He got the bag stolen on Josh Berenbaum with the excellent jump, and now he's in scoring position for Ethan Hedges, with the Knights leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the fifth inning in the championship game. Had Portland prevailed in the title game here Saturday, the Pickles would have made the journey up to beautiful Vancouver Island. 3-1 the count to Hedges. Ethan swings and pops it up on the right side. First baseman Tripp Clark comes in to make the catch, and the beat goes on in this exciting pitchers duel at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Rob, it's great to see you again. Thanks for coming up and spending some time. We'll be listening to you and looking forward after the game to the presentation. But thanks for another great summer, and great to see you here at the
Mike,
ballpark.
as always, it is my great pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Rob.
sir.
Commissioner Rob Nyer joining me here on our broadcast location adjacent to the McGrath family press box. Brooks Hatch's birthday today, too. So Brooks Hatch, B.G. Gould, Dale Scott. Happy birthday to all of you. Beej, thanks for everything. We'll talk more about Meckler when we come back. We go to the sixth, 1-0 Knights on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Hudson Shoup takes a strike to open the top of the sixth inning in this title game. The 0-1 breaking ball fouled at the plate. Merritt Jones jumps ahead of Hudson 0-2. Shoup an infield single in the first, one of two hits for Victoria. The Knights have two hits and a run. It was unearned. The strike two breaking ball lifted foul off third and playable. Tyler Quinn moving into foul grounds, backs up, makes the catch. One away. B.G. Gould, the de facto mayor of Medford, celebrating a birthday today. He wrote me earlier and said a great birthday present would be a Knights win in the championship game. Thanks, Beej, for all the correspondence during the course of the Beaver season in the spring and in the summer here now. And he was the one who let me know that Wade Meckler had indeed been called up by the Giants from AAA Sacramento just 14 months ago, was helping the Knights in a super regional here against Auburn, and now in the lineup for the San Francisco Giants in the big leagues. What a story. Tyler Davis takes a breaking ball strike. The 0-1 pitch is another slider in there for strike two. 0-2 the count. One out, nobody on, top of the sixth. 1-0 Knights in the title game. Tyler Davis has struck out twice. Merritt trying to get him for a third time, and does. Breaking ball got him swinging. Two down. 11 in a row set down by Merritt Jones. That's his first strikeout since he fanned the side in the third. We're in the sixth. 2-0 Knights. Tripp Clark, who has struck out twice, the batter. Merritt kicks and delivers. Breaking ball fouled at the plate. No balls and one strike the count. The Victoria HarbourCats joining this great league in 2013. The longest tenured team in the capital city for a Victoria-based baseball team since the Athletics and Ty's from 1946 to 54. Breaking ball down in the count 1-1, and I would think this year they have surpassed that status. and the count 1-2, and indeed a tremendous following, and many of them made the trip down. 1-2 pitch, foul back. The count remains 1-2. When the HarbourCats were introduced, the entire squad along the first baseline before the game, a lot of cheers could be heard, and HarbourCats fans dotting the stands here at Goss. The 1-2 breaking ball from Merritt Jones, down and in, ball 2. My sense is this will be the final inning of work for Merritt Jones as Shoal Marial and several other Oregon State basketball players arrive fashionably late to the ballpark. The 2-2 pitch, foul back, and the count remains 2-2. Tyler Bilodeau among them. Big Shoal stands out at 7-2. The 2-2 pitch on the way, a check swing on a breaking ball, no swing, says first base umpire Yako Goba. And the count goes full to 3-2. Close. Slight breezes rippling the American flag and left. The haze grows. The 3-2 pitch hit foul through it, off to the right and out of play. The AQI was at 79 at the start of the game. It's up to 94 now. The temperature has dropped to 89 degrees. 3-2 to Trip Clark. Merritt to the plate. Breaking ball, a one-hopper under the glove of Tai Yukamoto into left field. J.C. Ing gets the ball back in. Yukamoto misread it just a bit. It'll go as a base hit. It was a tough play. And with that, Brooke Knight is going to make a move to the bullpen, it would appear. Zach Johnson was the first to go down to the pen. Miles Gazzola is also hot. Neil Feist is hot. Sean Weiss is also ready. Brooke Knight will take the baseball, I believe, from Merritt here and go to the bullpen. And when Merritt Jones comes out, this fan base, led by Merritt's folks who are here tonight, Dewey and Nicole from Idaho Falls, will give Merritt a well-deserved round of applause because he has pitched brilliantly. Here comes Merritt Jones, and listen to this crowd at Goss. Big hugs from his teammates greeting him in the receiving line in front of the Knights dugout. Zach Johnson is a new pitcher. Will take a 2-minute pitching change break in the 6th. The tying run on base, 2 down, top of the 6th, 1-0 Knights back in 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Zach Johnson to square off against the pride of Chief Cialish International High School, Jesse Brown. The first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 to Jesse, who against Merritt Jones walked and grounded to short. 1-0 Knights, top of the 6th inning. Trip Clark the tying run at first. Johnson's 0-1 pitch fouled into Urchin Alley to my right. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 down. Zach Johnson first out of the bullpen after a tremendous outing from Merritt Jones. Zach out of the stretch. The strike 2 pitch change fouled at the plate. Jesse did a nice job just to get a piece of it, and catcher Tyler Howard not quite able to squeeze the foul tip. 1-0 Knights, an unearned run back in the second. Trip Clark, a 2-out single. He's the tying run at first. Fastball from Zach Johnson. Runs back over the outside corner. Strike 3 called, and that's that for Victoria in the 6th. No runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Knights won, and the HarbourCats nothing in this title game on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Josh Berenbaum goes to work on J.C. Ing. And J.C. takes high and away, ball 1. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the 6th inning in this championship game. J.C. takes the 1-0 pitch a little low. J.C., an important part in this game, a sacrifice bunt in the second to move Ethan Hedges into scoring position. Ethan Hott followed with an RBI single. That's the game's lone run. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Knights. The 2-0 breaking ball bends in for a strike from Berenbaum. 2-1 the count. Berenbaum back to the plate, and it runs way outside, ball 3. 3-1 to J.C., who then had an infield single on the bunt in the 4th. J.C. Ing, Ethan Hott, and Tate Shimau against Berenbaum, whose 3-1 pitch misses. High and away, ball 4. Ethan Hott, the batter. Now, Ethan singled home the only run in this ball game back in the second. He sacrificed in the 4th to put runners at second and third for the Knights. The Knights subsequently came up empty when Davis Franklin made some excellent pitches to avert further trouble. A bunt in front of the mound, and the ball barehand stab by Davis comes up empty, and everybody's safe. A little miscommunication, I thought, on the part of the battery. Berenbaum, I thought, had a chance to make a play more readily than did Davis, and at the last moment, Berenbaum appeared to pull up and defer to Davis, and if there was any hesitation or whatever in that moment, Davis did not get a clean handle on the slow rolling bunt by Ethan Hott. Waiting on the official scoring, Up there to bunt now for the Knights is Tate Shamau. He gets it down. There's nobody home at third. The throw to first is just in time to get Tate Shamau, who sacrifices 1-3. J.C. Ing to third. Ethan Hott into second. Ethan will be given a bunt single on the play that gave the catcher, Tyler Davis, trouble. So here we go again. Tyler Howard, the batter. Howard struck out with the bases loaded in the fourth after the Knights had bunted two into scoring position. Hungry for another opportunity, lifts a fly ball to center. This could be deep enough. Lining it up and catching it is Crossland. Racing to the plate is J.C. Ing. He scores. The throw to third is not in time. Tagging and going from second to third is Ethan Hott. Here comes the Todd Haney to argue the call. The call at third is safe. Now, the run scored, but I have a feeling there may be a question about an appeal. The home plate umpire, Jim Courtney, at the request of Todd Haney, is summoning the umpire who made the call to see whether or not there's anything that can be discussed. And Haney, I think, is giving up after a very quick conversation. So a sacrifice fly for Tyler Howard. A bit of a gamble on Ethan Hott's part. J.C. Ing raced in to score. There was no play there. The play went to third, and had Hott been tagged out and called out before J.C. crossed the plate, a double play would have ensued. The run wouldn't have counted. So now the Knights with a runner at third and two down. The pitch to Yukamoto, stroke to right field, base hit. Ethan Hott down the line to score. The Knights lead it 3-0. I'm not sure Ethan would have been able to score from second on that play. So, yeah, he had a method, not necessarily in his madness, but in his daring to tag and go from second to third, scoring easily on the Yukamoto base hit to right. 3-0 Knights in the sixth. Tyler Quinn, the batter. Josh Berenbaum delivers down and away. Good backhand stab by the catcher, Tyler Davis. 1-0 the count. Berenbaum to the plate. Swung on and fouled back by Tyler Quinn. The count 1-1. 3-0 Knights picking up 2 runs here in the sixth. A leadoff walk opened the door. Then a bunt single on a play that in theory should have resulted in an out. A sacrifice by Shamau. A sacrifice fly by Howard. An RBI single for Tai Yukamoto. A throw to first base. Back to the bag steps Tai. 3-0 Knights, bottom of the sixth inning. Tyler Quinn against Josh Berenbaum, trying to keep things going. There goes Yukamoto. The pitch is grounded to short, charged by Shoop, fielded by Shoop, and Hudson throws to first to retire the side. The ball popping in and out of the mid of Trip Clark, but on the transfer, Ed Nags wasn't so sure. He says something to the first base umpire, Yako Goba, but not much. The Knights, though, they were eloquent in what they said here in the sixth. They rise up to score 2 with good execution of the game. And we go to the top of the seventh. It's the Knights 3 and Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Victoria, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Zach Johnson, working in the top of the 7th inning, falls behind to Dallas Macias. 2 balls and no strikes. Dallas swings at the 2-0 pitch, a grounder to second, fielded by Mason Lee. He flips to first to get Dallas, who has a bunt single and a grounder to short, now a grounder to second, leading things off here in the top of the 7th inning for Victoria, with the Knights leading 3-0. Russell Young, the batter. Russell has struck out and flied to right field. Zach Johnson to the plate, fastball foul back, 0-1 the count. Just had the pleasure of meeting Norm Ing from San Mateo. His wife Sandra listening to JC's ball game tonight and the great season JC has had here for the Knights. The strike 1 pitch, off speed, grounded foul, back of third, 0-2 the count. And Norm informed me that John and Jen Legg are the biggest Knights fans and JC Ing fans listening night in and night out. So John and Jen, thank you for listening and watching. And it was a real pleasure to meet Norm. And JC's had a tremendous summer. Been fun to watch him play with this entire group. The strike 2 pitch missing high. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Russell Young, who has struck out and flied to right. The designated hitter. Johnson delivers a breaking ball up, ball 2, 2-2. Zach, a very quick worker out of the University of Portland, Lake Ridge High School, the Gunderson Baseball Academy. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3, 2 down. And on his way to Utah Valley and excited for the opportunity, as we talked about in a pregame interview a few days ago. With 2 away, Jack Johnson, the batter. Jack aboard on an error in the 2nd, flied to right in the 5th. 2 outs, top of the 7th, 3-0 Knights. Zach kicks and comes to the plate. Slider for a strike, and the count 0-1. Zach, a very quick worker, comes back to the plate. Fastball up, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-0 Knights in the 7th. An unearned run in the 2nd, picked up 2 through excellent execution in the 6th. Fastball foul back, and Zach Johnson ahead of the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes, trying to keep the momentum rolling. The Knights picking up 2. Nothing better than a pitcher to back it up by coming out and putting up a 0. Zach delivers, fastball outside, ball 2, 2-2. Bases empty, 2 down in the 7th. Zach back to the plate. The 2-2 pitch, hit foul into Urchin Alley. Zach Johnson and Tyler Howard, the battery. Ethan Hedges at first, Mason Lee at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Tyler Quinn at third, J.C. Ing in left, Ethan Hott in center, Sam Stem in right. The 2-2 breaking ball just missed. Wow. That was an excellent pitch. Jack Johnson still up there, 3-2. Zach delivers, gets him with a fastball anyway, strike 3 to retire the side. It feels as though there's a tincture of poetic justice because I thought the previous pitch was good enough for a strikeout. The inning is over. Zach Johnson retires the side in order with 2 punchouts. We are through 6.5. The Knights 3 and Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 7th inning in the West Coast League Championship game between the Corvallis Knights and the Victoria HarbourCats. 6'5", 240-pound left-hander from Beamsville, Ontario, and out of Florida Southern, Ryan Magdich takes over pitching chores with the Knights leading 3-0, 6 outs away from a 7th straight championship, but certainly not counting anything as done. They're going to try to add on. Mason Lee bunts foul against Magdich. 0-1 the count. Ryan back to the plate, slings it up there just outside. 1-1. Magdich and Tyler Davis, the battery. Trip Clark at first. Marco Piricello at second. Hudson Shoup at short. Jack Johnson at third. Dallas Macias in left. Michael Crossland in center. Jesse Brown in right. The 1-1 pitch missing outside to Mason, who is 0 for 3. Magdich's 2-1 fastball. Swung on and missed. Got on him in a hurry. Sneaky fast might be the term. It's a term that comes to mind just watching kind of a slow, big windup from a big guy. But then all of a sudden that ball is on you. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mason Lee. Sam Stem on deck. The 2-2 fastball foul back. Lee stays alive. 2-2. Mason Lee, Sam Stem, and Ethan Hedges in the 7th. The Knights a run in the 2nd. It was unearned. 2 runs last inning. The Knights have received outstanding pitching from Merritt Jones and Zach Johnson. 7 shutout innings, trying to bring home a 7th consecutive title. Magdich looking to do his job and keep the HarbourCats within striking distance. Delivers a fastball away. Ball 3, 3-2. Magdich began his career at Cisco College. A two-way player there. Delivers a fastball foul back. Lee stays alive. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Leading matters off for the Knights here in the bottom of the 7th inning. AQI holding at 94. The temperatures drop to 85. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball, a fly ball to right field and playable. Jesse Brown going back, and he misjudged the ball a little bit. It carries over his head, and into second base goes Mason Lee. Whether through this kind of hazy sky or whatever else, Jesse did not get the best of reads on a fly ball that I thought when it left Mason's bat was going to result in an out. The ball carried on Jesse a little bit. It is a breezeless night. The smoke and haze we've been talking about just seems to kind of be hovering over us tonight. Hovering over us, the deep sky, you think it was trying to hatch us. I quote that because of our guests, our visitors from the great nation to the north, Victoria, British Columbia, and the bard of bards, in my estimation, the great Bruce Cockburn, Canadian citizen, wrote that line about the sky. You'd think it was trying to hatch us. That's how it feels right about now. Sam Stem looks at a breaking ball away. Ball 1, 1-0. And whether the thick, hazy sky bothered Jesse Brown on the read, I don't know. It is a double. Sam Stem with a count of 1-0, likely up there to bunt with the Knights leading 3-0. Does push a bunt foul up along third, and the count 1-1. A left-on-left matchup. If this were a right-handed pitcher, I wouldn't be shocked if Brook turned Sam Stem loose, even though this is almost a 100% bunt situation given Brook Knight's history as a skipper and calling a game. Left-on-left, I think Sam is still up there to bunt. He is. He takes a strike, and the count 1-2. So now the bunt is off, which in theory could work out in that the Knights have their leading RBI man at the plate, Sam Stem. And if not an RBI, at least Sam wants to get the runner moved. Mason Lee going to third. The pitch is swung on and missed, and the throw from Tyler Davis into left field. Mason Lee down the line to score. The Knights lead it 4-0. Sam Stem struck out, by the way. I said swung on and missed. And they're saying no swing, and that's a terrible call. Todd Haney's absolutely right to be upset about that. You heard me within the play-by-play call say the pitch to Stem swung on and missed, because he did swing and miss at the pitch. So a huge break for Sam to still be up there. An even bigger break with Lee getting the stolen base and scoring on the throwing error. 4-0 Knights. The pitch to Sam lifted foul off to the left and out of play. So a lot of moving parts on the play, and the third base umpire, Timothy Montoya, knowing he had a call coming up at third, may not have processed fully Sam Stem's swing at the pitch, but Sam should have struck out. The 2-2 pitch, he strikes out now. And again, there's that thing known as poetic justice. He takes strike three called, one away, but Mason Lee stealing third, inducing the throw from Tyler Davis, who sailed it over Jack Johnson's head. Lee came down the line to score. It's 4-0 Knights, bottom of the seventh. Ethan Hedges has been aboard on an error, walked, and popped out to first. Fastball fouled into Urchin Alley to the right. No balls and one strike the count. A big run that could end up being unearned. The strike one pitch, fastball inside, and the count 1-1 to Ethan Hedges. Ethan scored an unearned run back in the second. 4-0 Knights, bottom of the seventh inning. Magdic to the plate and misses outside, ball two, 2-1. Magdic peering in to Tyler Davis. Comes to the plate. Fastball high, evidently. Ball three, 3-1. The Knights have picked up a run. Magdic comes back. The 3-1 pitch is fouled at the plate by Ethan Hedges. 3-2 the count. Tremendous baseball tradition through the years in Victoria. They had a Northwest League franchise in the late 70s. The Victoria Muscles, and Bill Murray actually got into a game and got a hit for the Muscles in 1978. 3-2 pitch, check swing, foul back. The count remains 3-2. Now, whether that was an actual Northwest League game or an exhibition game, I'm not sure. But Bill Murray, a base hit for the Victoria Muscles in 78. The 3-2 pitch is just outside, ball four. Ethan Hedges drawing the one-out walk, and J.C. Ing will be the batter. 4-0 Knights in the bottom of the seventh inning. Victoria, as the Muscles in the Northwest League in 78-79, part of the Western International League 1946 to 51, a Class B affiliate of the New York Yankees playing at Royal Athletic Park. The Victoria Athletics Tyes. Fastball inside, and the count 1-0 to J.C. Ing. In 1980, another rendition of the Northwest League, the Victoria Blues. The Victoria Capitals in 2003 of the Canadian Baseball League, the Pacific International League in 2004. JC takes down and away, ball two, 2-0. The Victoria Seals, an independent pro Golden Baseball League team. Darrell Evans, the Darrell Evans managed that. Victoria Mavericks in 2010. Pitch is high, the runner goes, the throw to second not in time. Ethan Hedges swipes second. J.C. Ing has the count his way with a chance for an RBI here now. And then the entrance of the Victoria HarbourCats in 2013. What a success story. Hott's going to third. The 3-0 pitch is a strike. No throw, or Hedges, I should say, going to third. And he has back-to-back stolen bases. The pitch a strike to J.C. Ing, and the count 3-1. So a tremendous baseball tradition, and certainly the Victoria HarbourCats have won the hearts of the fans on the island. 4-0 Knights. JC takes a strike to run the count full to 3-2. Ethan Hedges a couple of steals to put himself at third with one out. The HarbourCats bring their infield halfway. They can ill afford to fall further behind in this title contest. JC takes a rip, fouls it back. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.C. Ng. He was an early guest early in the summer out of Foster City, Pomona Pitzer. Played back east in a league in the East last summer. The 3-2 pitch on the way, popped up. Good job by Magditch. He's going to get an out in foul territory. The shortstop moves over. Hudson Shoup to backhand, makes the catch and holds Ethan Hedges at third. 2 down, and Ethan Hott, the batter. Todd Haney is on his way out to the mound. And that likely means a pitching change, and in fact, it looks as though a new pitcher is grabbing his glove and is looking for the exit, trying to find his way. There's a gate right by where he was warming up, and this new pitcher's trotting all the way through the Knights bullpen and coming in out of the left field corner. Maybe the gate somehow got locked, I'm not sure, but the new pitcher took the long route. He's coming onto the field, picking up for Ryan Magditch. With the Knights leading 4-0 in the bottom of the 7th, Ethan Hedges at third, 2 down, a pitching change back in 2 on the Knights live stream, and 1240 Joe Radio. Right-hander Brett Harvey, who has saves in his last 4 appearances for the HarbourCats, comes into the ballgame to face Ethan Hott and starts him with a breaking ball. Ethan fouls it back. 0-1 the count. Ethan Hott at the plate. Ethan Hedges at third, 2 down, 4-0 Knights, bottom of the 7th. Harvey to the plate. A one-hopper by the diving second baseman Piricello into right center field. Base hit. Ethan and Ethan come through again. Hott the base hit to right center field. Hedges scores. The Knights lead it 5-0. Tremendous bit of hitting by Ethan Hott. Looks as though we'll have a hitter for Tate Shamau. Blake Avila, who crushed a pinch hit double to set up the Knights' winning run in the Knights' victory to settle the South Divisional Series against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Will pinch hit here in the 7th inning tonight. He got his double in the 8th in that decisive Game 3. He takes a strike from Brett Harvey. 0-1 the count. Brett, 6'2", 190. Sophomore out of University of Puget Sound, went to Auburn Riverside High School. Saves in his last 4 appearances, the last 2 of the regular season and 2 in the playoffs against Wenatchee, and got the save to close the deal against Bellingham on Saturday, getting the last 2 outs to deliver a nail-biting 7-6 win for the HarbourCats and the opportunity to travel the some 340 miles down here. They overnighted in Longview last night, cutting the trip in half essentially. There goes the runner. The throw to second is in time. Tyler Davis firing a strike to Hudson Shoup to get Ethan Hott. The Knights, though, pick up 2 more runs in the inning and are 6 outs away from their 7th consecutive championship. The 2 runs certainly helping before a crowd of 1,097 for this title game in the heat and the smoke of the Mid-Valley. 1,097 turning out for the late start. Sean Weiss is coming in, and Sean may be on the mound to try to get the last 6 outs. He was our pregame show guest. So here we go. Sean coming in out of the pen. The Knights get 2. They're up 5-0. 6 outs to go on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Well, Sean Weiss would not have it any other way. I'm not sure the Corvallis Knights would either. Sean takes the bump, 6 outs away from a 7th straight championship. For Sean, it would be his 3rd straight. He has work to do against an outstanding Victoria HarbourCats club. With the Knights leading 5-0, Sean's first pitch to Michael Crossland. Fastball swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. Casey and Amy Weiss to my left, his grandparents Gary and Sylvia. Russ Peterson has come up to take his spot next to the Weisses, as he always does when Sean comes into these home games. This is the 3rd consecutive summer for Sean in crucial situations such as this. He misses to Crossland, the count 1-1. The left-hander back to the plate, foul back, and the count 1-2. 5-0 Knights in the top of the 8th inning. The Knights are running the 2nd and have picked up 2 in each of the last 2 innings. 6 outs away, and Sean Weiss summoned out of the pen to try to get those last 6. Second baseman Mason Lee shaded way over to his right, nearly behind the bag. And here's a line drive to center field that'll drop in front of Ethan Hott for a base hit. Victoria, a resilient club. You've got to know that against Bellingham, in the championship game of the North Division, they were down 5-0 and rallied to win 7-6. Now, they did so earlier than this stage of the game. They were down 5-0 in the 2nd and began to come back and eventually took control of the game and the lead, and then had to hold off a Bellingham counter-offensive. But they did, 7-6. Sean Weiss delivers to Marco Piricello, who swings and misses. 0-1 the count. Piricello has struck out, walked, and flied to left. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Knights. No runs, 4 hits for Victoria. Sean's strike 1 pitch to Piricello, breaking ball in there. Strike 2, 0-2 the count. A thoroughly enjoyable conversation as always with such a competitive, gracious, humble, talented, gritty young man in Sean Weiss before the game. Hope you enjoyed that conversation. Sean back to the plate, fastball lifted, foul off third, 0-2 the count. Not talking really about himself at all, although he did talk about the opportunity ahead of him at Arizona Christian, but mainly talked about the love of the brethren, so to speak. The love of his brothers on this team and how they're all in together. The strike 2 pitch taken on the inside corner. Strike 3 called, 1 away. Hudson Shoup will come to the plate. Hudson has an infield single, is struck out and fouled out. That is a common theme, and I'm sure it's not peculiar to the Corvallis Knights culture only. Victoria could not go 27-2 at home without a little bit of that in their own world. A fly ball to center and playable. Ethan Hott is right there to make the catch. 2 down in the 8, 5-0 Knights, and the batter will be Tyler Davis. But the ability for Brooke Knight and Coach Nags and Jung Jin Yoon and Bo Kearns and through the years, Connor Lambert and the other coaches that have come through to foster a culture where everybody sort of bought in and playing on behalf of the guy next to him, the love of the brethren, as it were. It's been remarkable to watch through these summers. Tyler Davis swings and rolls 1 foul, 0-1 the count. Quick note, tomorrow night, Block 15 over the years has been a tremendous sponsor. They're holding a fundraiser tomorrow night. Many of the proceeds will go to my daughter's nonprofit, Hunters of Color. Hope that you can get down to Block 15 tomorrow night at some point, get yourself a lunch or a meal, and contribute to the great cause as Hunters of Color try to make the outdoors available to everyone and populations that haven't always been able to experience our beautiful outdoors in that space. A fundraiser tomorrow. A strike 2 pitch, a ground ball slowly to second, fielded by Mason Lee. Mason throws to first to get Tyler Davis. The inning is over. A leadoff single for Michael Crossland. Sean Weiss comes back to retire the next 3. The Knights are 3 outs away from a championship, their 7th straight. And again, our thanks to Block 15, which has been a huge sponsor over the years, and I think you're going to see them back in a big presence again next year in the ballpark. But hope you can get out there tomorrow and support an important effort. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Knights 5 and the Victoria HarbourCats nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning, Blake Avila, who was pinch hitting when Ethan Hott got thrown out attempting to steal to end the 7th, gets a clean slate, goes to work and takes the first pitch out of the zone. The 1-0 pitch from Brett Harvey outside for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1 to Blake Avila. Blake will be followed by Tyler Howard and then Tai Yukamoto. Avila is stepping out of the box after each pitch and being guided back in by the home plate umpire Jim Courtney. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed to even the count at 2-2. Avila again out of the box against Brett Harvey. 5-0 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. The 2-2 pitch, fastball, swung on and missed. Strike 3, 1 away. Tyler Howard, the batter. Tyler has been handling the catching duties, virtually all of them, with Anson Arrows, who made tremendous contributions to this potential 7th straight championship run for the Knights. Anson shutting things down recently, but it was a real pleasure to be around him. Tyler Howard, a ground ball to short, backhanded by Shoup. His throw to first pulls the first baseman, Trip Clark, off the bag, and Tyler Howard is aboard. Shoup unleashing a less than accurate throw. With Howard the runner, he had a chance to get him if he would have thrown accurately. It'll go as a base hit simply because of the range required on the play. Tyler Howard had a sacrifice fly in the 6th inning, gets a base hit here, closing his season with a flourish. Tai Yukamoto, an RBI single in his last at-bat. Sprays one foul to the left and out of play. No balls and a strike. The Knights are 3 outs away from a 7th consecutive West Coast League championship. No balls and a strike to Yukamoto. Harvey delivers slow and low, and the count 1-1. Ty has flied to left, flied to right, and had an RBI single in the 6th. 5-0 Corvallis. Harvey delivers a line drive to left field. Dallas Macias is right there. Dallas fires back to first. Scooting back, Tyler Howard. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Tyler Quinn, the batter. Coming out as we have throughout the summer, it's always a little bit difficult to reckon with. We know this is the last. Win or lose tonight. I mean, this is the final game. This could be the Knights' last inning at bat in what has been another memorable summer. The first pitch to Tyler swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. A throw to first and Tyler Howard back. Tyler Quinn at the plate. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. The Knights ended up with the best record again in the league. Big curveball misses down and away from Brett Harvey. 1-1 the count. And that accounts for this game being played here. So that hot second half enabling the Knights to win the second half and get to play here in this championship game. Quinn, a line drive base hit to right field. Jesse Brown over to get it, but Tyler Howard rounds second and scoots into third base on the 2-out single by Tyler Quinn. Runners at the corners and 2 down. Mason Lee, the batter. Mason at the plate with runners at the corners and 2 down. 5-0 Knights in the bottom of the 8th. The third time these two clubs have met for the championship. First pitch swung on and missed in the count 0-1. The HarbourCats and all others will do everything they can. Victoria missed by a game of hosting this one instead of making the long journey down here. The strike one pitch hit foul into the stands, and the basketball players, Shoal Marial, Tyler Bilodeau, and the other OSU hoopsters showed that they chose the right game. Michael Rattai's over there too. The OSU men's basketball players all dodging out of the way of that foul ball hit into the midst of them. Now, had it been a basketball coming off the rim, they all would have jumped up and grabbed it. A throw to first base, and back to the bag goes Tyler Quinn. But it's nice to see, you talk about bonding, Wayne Tinkle and his Oregon State men's basketball team not here, but he'd be glad to know that about 10 of his guys are here together watching Knights baseball. The strike two breaking ball misses high to Mason Lee. 1-2 the count. First and third, 2 down. 5-0 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. 3 outs away from a 7th straight West Coast League title. The pitch on the way, fastball just outside. Oh, a late call by Jim Courtney. Strike 3 call. Would you decide? That pitch was outside, and Courtney, about a half a day after the pitch had been received, rings him up. Strange call to be sure, and not a good one. But strike 3 called, and the inning is over. Mason Lee in astonishment, as is Brooke Knight, walking off and muttering and staring like, are you kidding me? Because it was a very late call. The Knights come up empty in the 8th, but they take a 5-run lead to the 9th, trying to bring home a 7th straight title. At the end of 8, Corvallis 5, Victoria nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 9th inning, the Knights 3 outs away. Sean Weiss to trip Clark. 5-0 Corvallis in the 9th. Clark fouls one above his own dugout. 0-1 the count. Sean from the stretch with nobody on. The strike 1 pitch, a 1-hopper at Knights second baseman Mason Lee, who was perfectly positioned. Makes the play to first. Trip Clark retired. 1 gone in the 9th. The Knights 2 outs away. And Jesse Brown will be the batter. Jesse 0 for 2 with a walk. Casey Weiss to my left saying that his phone is absolutely blowing up with friends, family watching. And thank you, all of you, for throwing your support Sean's way as he looks for the last 2 outs of the 2023 season. He's going to get another one right here. A fly ball to center. Ethan Hott is right there. Ethan makes the catch. Sean Weiss and the Corvallis Knights an out away. And it just boggles the mind to say, but it's true, an out away from a 7th consecutive West Coast League championship. 2 down. Dallas Macias, the batter, the switch hitter batting from the right side. Dallas has 1 of the 4 hits tonight. Dallas takes high, ball 1, 1-0. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 9th inning. Sean Weiss working from the stretch with nobody on. The 1-0 pitch to Macias. Dallas swings and hits it foul to the left. This will carry into the upper grandstand, again into the basketball players. Tyler Bilodeau is pleading with Shoal Marial. Make a play, Shoal, make a play. The basketball players have yet. They've had 2 chances to make a play, but I'm actually glad they did. Don't need an injury at a ball game. 1-1, 2 down, nobody on. 5-0 Knights in the 9th. Sean to the plate. A fly ball to right center field. A long run for Ethan Hott. Still on the run. He can't get it. Dallas Macias will keep Victoria alive. Chasing the ball down is Sam Stem. Macias will be held at third with a 2-out triple in the top of the 9th inning. Well struck by Dallas. It's a little bit along those lines of what Pete Carroll said to Mike Riley when the 27-game winning streak for the Trojans in the conference was ended at Reser Stadium October 28, 2006. Pete hugged Mike Riley after the 33-31 Beaver win and said, if anybody's going to get me, I'm glad it was you. If anybody's going to get a hit off Sean Weiss, well, Dallas Macias, a great kid and a Beaver. But now Sean is an out away still, a runner at third, a 2-out triple. Macias with 2 of the 5 hits. Russell Young, the batter, fouls one straight back. 0-1 the count. 2 outs, Macias at third, 5-0 Knights in the 9th. The strike one pitch, a looper to shallow right, going out is Mason Lee. He makes the catch. And it's a magnificent 7 for the Corvallis Knights. A 7th consecutive West Coast League championship. They defeat the Victoria HarbourCats 5-0 and are dogpiling, celebrating with Sean Weiss at the bottom of the pile. A very familiar scene that never gets old. A dog pile at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field as the Knights win their 7th consecutive West Coast League championship. A remarkable achievement, a true dynasty. There aren't many, I don't know how many leagues and organizations, I don't know them all, but I dare say very few teams in any league at any level have reeled off 7 consecutive championships. The Knights have, and they did it the hard way. They spotted Cowlitz Game 1 in Longview last Tuesday, and less than a week later, here they are on this muggy, smoky, beautiful Monday night, celebrating out on the mound after the dog pile, now just hugging one another, showing that love that Sean Weiss spoke of before the game. And fittingly, it's Sean on the bump. I touched on it. Sean, you want to have the ball in the end? And he said, well, I'd love that, but whatever, I'll support my teammates no matter what. Well, it is Sean Weiss on the mound at the end, appropriately delivering the Knights' 7th consecutive championship. And it's the first time that he has been on the mound for the final out in a championship game. Commissioner Rob Nyer, as we continue to watch here on the live stream, is getting ready to make the presentation of the championship trophy, emblematic of yet another West Coast League championship to the Knights. Rob Nyer congratulating Dan Siegel, Brooke Knight, Ed Nags, Bo Kearns, Yoongjin Yoon, the entire staff of the Knights.
Congratulations once again to the Knights and Coach Knight.
And Brooke Knight is being presented the trophy. And I think Brooke may say a word or two about the young men that he's been so proud to coach. Let's see if we can pick a little bit of this up. We'll turn up our mic a little bit. But before Brooke starts talking, there's a jumping chant going on with Yoongjin Yoon being lifted to the top of that pile. Here's Coach Knight.
Very grateful for everybody who made the effort tonight, specifically with it being such a hot streak in Corvallis and all summer long for us. We genuinely appreciate all the support you give us. I know the guys really appreciate it. And, you know, this past year for this organization has been very difficult. We lost Dan's mom, Jolene Siegel.
Brooke just received the Gatorade treatment from the guys as he's talking about Jen Beaumont. Brooke suggesting that the season indeed dedicated to Jen and her memory this year.
We also lost our very passionate and loving general manager, Jennifer Beaumont. Love goes to Jen. This one's for those two women who have supported this organization for many, many years. To the coaching staff, now been together a few years, couldn't do without them. This is the best coaching staff in the West Coast League and possibly on the West Coast, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. They're selfless. They work so hard for our player group. They care deeply about our player group and their improvement personally and on the baseball field. Thank you to our host families who look after these guys all summer. Thank you, thank you. Rob Nyer, commissioner of this league, that is a difficult job. I don't want that job ever. Thank you, Rob, for doing the hard work behind the scenes. We appreciate it. To our interns who are here all summer, busting their tails, thank you so much. We had a big group this year. We appreciate it. Our front office, Colleen, Bree, Derek Bukite, who has been off the charts this year, helping Dan out. Derek, thank you, buddy. I sure hope I don't leave anybody out. But this player group, love you guys. Let's go!
That is a great note on which to end the thank you speech. Love you guys, and they're dancing and hopping around and hoisting the West Coast League Championship trophy for a 7th consecutive time. There was a hiatus in 2020, but that did not stop the Knights from continuing to steamroll to more titles. 2016, 17, 18, and 19, and now 21, 22, and 23. Hey, I want to thank all of you for following along on the live stream this year. I've thanked everybody earlier, and so we'll wrap it up here now. But indeed, a pleasure to work primarily in the live stream presentation with Thomas Rudolph, Andrew Henderson, and Casey Lavin. And my thanks to all of you who took time to come by and say hello, to the parents of the players that did just that. It was a pleasure to meet all of you and to follow your outstanding young men during the summer of 2023. So the Knights do it again. A year from now, I hope we're back talking about visions of 8. But we have a magnificent 7 in the record books, with the Knights prevailing 5-0 behind Merritt Jones, Zach Johnson, and Sean Weiss. The Knights win it 5-0 to wrap up the 2023 season in a very familiar fashion, a dog pile at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. For Casey, for Thomas, for Andrew, and for Garrett Dworshak back in our studios, this is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us as the Corvallis Knights win their 7th consecutive West Coast League Championship. Our final score, the Knights 5 and the Victoria HarbourCats 0. See you again next summer, everybody, right back here on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.